Sego Zorguego, what gano alado ne Karihwanakere live. I'm Kevin Lazore.
And I'm Regan Jacobs, and we'll be bringing you news and current events from in and around Akwesasne.
Today is a special program which reflects on the recent flooding in Akwesasne, its disastrous effects, and the community's effort to help protect its residents.
Since Akwesasne TV has been covering the flooding, we've seen and heard first-hand accounts of how many of the local residents have been displaced from their homes and businesses.
Many residents have suffered huge setbacks, and in an effort to help, our station would like to highlight some of the ongoing fundraising efforts in Akwesasne. We encourage community members and beyond to give what they can to help assist the flood victims.
Caring Hearts of Akwesasne will be hosting fundraising beginning at 11 a.m. at the American Legion in Hogansburg with a chicken barbecue dinner. They will also have a Mohawk auction and a music event in the evening with bands locally and from the surrounding area. If you would like to donate to the Mohawk auction, you can drop off items at truck stop number 9.
And this evening, there's also going to be an event at the Saint Regis Recreation Center, and that's going to be benefiting Mark and Marla Light with a spaghetti dinner, $10 a dish, and that includes a Mohawk auction until 9 p.m. And for more donations are currently being accepted today as well. There'll be singers to share songs of healing, prayer, power, and gratitude, and a blanket dance as well. That benefit is being run by family and friends. Coming up on the show, we will have special guests Brendan White and Matt Rourke in studio to give their first-hand accounts of the flooding, their vital role in keeping the community informed and safe.
We also had the opportunity to speak with some of the residents who are most affected by the flooding, and we'll highlight those stories on our show today. First up is Mark Light, who lives along the Saint Regis River, close to the water. Light and wife Marla evacuated their home last week and have not been able to return since. ATV visited Mark at his property, and he candidly walked us through his home and how he's been affected. Take a look.
I got up, it was still dark, about 5 in the morning, and I looked out back and I seen that water was up to my, I used to have a sweat lodge back here, and it's like up to the sweat lodge. I went back, took a bunch of pictures, and I was thinking, this is gonna get bad. So all day, I sat here all day watching that. I watched it come up, come all the way up to my porch, go back out a little bit, then it come up farther and farther. Then by evening time, it came up real high. When I knew that it was I was sitting in the kitchen, shook my house. When it hit, the ice was hitting all over, and I could hear it. Boom, it shook the house, actually shook the house. So that's when I looked in the basement. I watched that water fill up to the ceiling, right below the breaker box. And that's when I figured I better call National Grid, have them shut the power off. I figured we have to bail out of here. That's when I figured that was still dry. So we were moving stuff out of here while that water was coming through here. We were running stuff over there. You know, I mean, it's crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. So what was your reaction like when your property started getting flooded?
My reaction, I don't know, I was kind of excited, you know. You get a feeling of excitement and that, you know, I mean, worried, you know, worried about our house, of course, you know, but it's just, there's nothing that you can really do about it, but watch it. That's all you can do. It's a feeling of, I don't say helplessness, kind of, you know, I mean, you're at their mercy of the water, so you just let it do what it's got to do. I mean, the river's going to do what it's going to do. There's nothing anybody can do about it, and that's just the way it is. That's the way life is. I mean, I watched this river for 25 years, every spring go out. Never seen it like this, and it's just amazing. To me, I'm like, it's amazed. I'm amazed at it, and pretty much lost, you know, everything, but.
What happened when you were told that you had to leave your own home? Like, what was going through your mind? And then, you know, like.
Well, first I wasn't going to leave. I was going to stay. I was going to stay in there overnight. And that's when we ended up helping somebody else out. Went to go get sandbags. Had my grandson and his crew, and about some 5 14-year-olds. And we was the only ones there. Matt Tarbell, and he helped us. We had 2 trucks loading sandbags up. And we got there, and another guy pulled up, and his house was already a foot deep, and he needed help. Nobody, you know, he was all by himself, so we decided to go help him because my garage was still dry then. And by the time we got back over here, the water was 2 feet high, going around the garage, 2, 3 feet high. It was pretty deep. And what caused it all is that thaw in January. If it didn't thaw in January, we wouldn't have this problem right now. That's what caused it, was that thaw in January, because the ice, the water came all the way to in between our houses here. And then I watched it then it went out, and then it came back in again even farther, and then it stayed, and I watched it freeze because the temperature dropped to 20 below in an hour, and I watched it turn to slush and turn to ice. So you got 2-3 feet of ice already on the properties along the bank, and the river froze at that level, and then with another thaw, when with the ice, that's what caused it. It was that January thaw.
And a lot of people were saying that it's from the dam being removed.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think it's pretty nuts that they would even think that. You can't think that. It's the weather, you know, nothing to do with the dam. If the dam was in, that bridge would be gone. Probably Mohawk School would probably be gone because that ice would be another 10, 20 feet higher on that side. It would. It'd be unreal if that dam was in. I think that dam saved a lot of places.
Have you ever seen anything like
25 years, never seen it like this, no. We've had it come up to here, the ice, and then, but in the spring, because it's going out, what it does is it's pushing it out. That's why it'll back up, because it's pushing it out. Because that's after the St. Lawrence opens up, the ice, it'll push it out. Everything's blocked in right now. St. Lawrence is still frozen. So the ice has no place to go. Even when this cuts loose, it's still gonna block right here, and that it's gonna push it all up. All this is all gonna go like that. I've had my sweat lodge up pretty much under all but that much before. And I've had it come up so fast, I had to run up because that water is coming up so fast. But it always goes up because then it'll break through and then it recedes. It doesn't stay like not even for an hour, you know, and it breaks through and it goes out. Maybe it'll come all the way up and then 10, 15 minutes later, it'll push out.
Is there anything else that you feel like is important to add?
I praise up my grandson and his buddies for these guys, man. And sometimes they're so lazy, it's hard to get them to bring wood in the house. But when the fan, you know, those kids, they was like hustling, man, throwing bags and sandbags and like really working hard. And our dog probably would have drowned if, you know, if they didn't. I would have lost my car. Grandson, he jumped in that, and the water was up to the doors.
Oh, so what's next?
It's got to melt and move out, that's all.
So you're predicting it's going to be, what do you predict after it's all fouled?
Man, I think it's going to be up to our windows, this ice coming through here. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I always think of the worst and hope for the best, you know, but that's what I see, because I've seen it come up, hardly anything, nothing like this, nothing. I've seen that ice come up to here. So imagine when this cuts loose, and that's when it cuts loose. Look at how high it is. That's good 10, 12 feet high right there. Never seen it like that. It's amazing, the power of it. Took trees down, pretty much. I don't know what to do.
Go for sharing, Mark, and we send our best wishes to you and your family.
Once again, we encourage people to donate to the various fundraisers that are ongoing for Akwesasne flood victims. But don't go away. We'll be right back right after this quick commercial break.
Akwesasne Sports. We offer a full range of sports equipment for lacrosse, hockey, softball, and soccer. We provide customized stringing, lacrosse equipment, t-shirts, shorts, jerseys, and custom apparel. We carry wooden sticks, offer maximum edge skate sharpening, screen printing, and embroidering. Akwesasne Sports, open since 1998. Visit our store today.
Midnight Confetti Decorating Services is perfect for your next celebration. They're there to help you every step of the way with their elite products and services. From now to the end of March, save 20% on your tent and outdoor equipment. Let the professional staff at Midnight Confetti help plan your next big occasion. And welcome back to the show. Joining us now in studio is Brendan White, Director of Communications for the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe. Brendan, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you both.
So, Brendan, last week the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe declared a state of emergency here in Akwesasne. Tell me what's happening with that now. Where is it at?
Well, I want to start by saying that the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe takes immense responsibility in protecting the safety and ensuring the well-being of all community members, as well as our guests in the territory. So Thursday around 5 o'clock, the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribal Council declared a state of emergency. And that state of emergency remains in effect and will only be rescinded under the advisement of the Unified Incident Command, which is comprised of the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe's Emergency Planning Office, the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribal Police Department, and the Hogansburg-Akwesasne Volunteer Fire Department.
Well, the tribe obviously played an instrumental role in getting all necessary information out to the public. So what was that like, and what kind of reaction have you received from the public?
Well, I think the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe took a supporting role to the incident, and I was fortunate through my emergency management training to be in a position to fill the shoes of a public information officer for the Unified Incident Command. And it was very busy since then, and we're continuing to monitor the situation. I believe we began monitoring it back on Saturday, February 18th, when the National Weather Service first issued a flood watch advisory. And we've been very vigilant in monitoring not only the changing weather, but certainly how that's impacting our community. During that whole duration, we had approximately 8 daily updates, press releases, information that was sent out. It absolutely was, as well as more than 50 individual updates, PSAs that were passed along to Akwesasne TV. And my hat's off to you for being able to assist and getting critical information out to your viewers.
Of course, well, thanks to you, of course. That was like long days for yourself in terms of staying up to date on what was happening.
Absolutely, and I also want to thank Regan Cook and staff down at the radio station. Now, the response, I think, has been good. Of course, it's hard to say it's been positive because of the difficulty that our community has been going through. But our reach during the past week was able to reach around 77,000 people.
That's amazing.
We did our very best to get the information out there, and we did through a variety of means. Again, through the television station, through the radio, through our website, as well as through our different social media channels, as well as in person. We even printed off the updates and took them over to the Comfort Inn, where approximately 58 evacuees were staying, and they were slipped underneath their doors because they're the most important audience to get the information.
And people must be stopping you like on the street and just asking, or even over cell phone, over Facebook, because they know that you are the director of the communications of the tribe and a vital role in getting that information out. So it's not a 9-to-5 thing. It's been, the last week must have been crazy for you.
Yep. You could never take that hat off. It was long hours, but fortunately I can say I got a good night's rest last night when I came across that bridge and I saw the open water, and that's open water right up until Helena. I was also very moved last Saturday when I went to the Comfort Inn, and there was a dinner hosted by Caring Hearts of Akwesasne. And I'm hearing about all these different fundraisers that are being held. I just want to encourage folks that for all these fundraisers, they're very much appreciated, but to encourage them to utilize the hashtag #AkwesasneFlood for a lot of our tribal members who don't live in the territory but are following the events online.
Well, you're doing a great job, and hats off to you and your team and the tribe, of course. Now, there was some discussion as this event happened. There was a lot of discussion in terms of the dam removal. What effect has it had on the flow of the river, and what are your thoughts on this? Are people reaching out to you, expecting the tribe to make some sort of statement, or what's been going on?
Well, now that we've seen a little pause in the situation, we've developed an FAQ, which is going to be up on the tribe's website. We've also made that available to everybody who was affected in the flood area. But from my own personal experience, and not to say how old I am, I was around when the flood happened back in 1981, and I remember climbing on the ice blocks and dragging sandbags across the road to help a neighbor, protect his basement, put them around his basement windows. There was also a flood that took place in April of 2014. I'm not sure if people recall when the dam was in place and it backed up and affected the Saint Regis Mohawk School. So I'm not a hydrologist, but my own opinion, my own perspective is it had no bearing.
All right. Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us today in studio.
My pleasure.
It.
Well, Akwesasne TV had the opportunity to speak with Tony David, Program Manager for Water Resources for the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe, to discuss the dam removal and whether or not it had an impact in the recent flooding.
The main factors are having thick ice and a sudden rise in river flows, and this was a result of the recent snow melt. So we've actually had two of those events stacked on top of each other. So these are two separate but related ice jam events. You can look at history, and the Saint Regis River is full of history of ice jam events. And one of similar severity happened here in February of 1981, and this event behaved much in the same way. The main difference is that this year, instead of the ice jam clearing out, the temperatures went extremely cold and the jam froze in place. And that actually allowed ice to regrow upstream, and then a second jam occurred on top of the first one. So we're really talking about two events on top of each other.
And is there anything that you feel is important that you would like to express to the community regarding this conversation?
Well, as I've said, ice jams have happened in the past, and they've even occurred in worse conditions than this. And you know, we seem to think that we seem to forget that rivers can flood, and that ice jams can occur. And you know, we really need to think strategically about where homes are built and how they're built, because this type of event will happen again. We just can't know when. So the most important thing for community members, especially for people who live along the river, is to think about resiliency. If this event is to happen again in sometime future, you know, maybe it happens next year, or maybe it happens 40 or 50 years down the line. What can they do to prepare their property to be more resilient and resist these type of events? So that's a serious conversation that needs to happen, and you know, we need to think differently about how we plan development.
And is there any kind of significant change to water flow since the dam was removed?
Not really. Underneath the State Route 37 bridge, there's naturally occurring bedrock. That rise in elevation actually ponds water behind, upstream of the bridge. So removal of the Hogansburg Dam really only changed water levels by a couple feet. Most of that ponding effect is just natural conditions.
And now Tony. Well, don't go away. We will be right back after this quick commercial break. And in studio, we will have Matt Rourke, the Chief of Police for the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribal Police, joining us in studio to talk about all the operations that went into keeping Akwesasne safe. Stay tuned.
Beauty and Bloom Floral and Gift Shop specializes in unique and customized floral designs for any occasion. Birthday, wedding, anniversary, or just to say I love you, Beauty and Bloom Floral and Gift Shop is the place to go. Call Beauty and Bloom Floral and Gift Shop today, or stop by the shop and see the unique designs or buy that perfect gift. Beauty and Bloom Floral and Gift Shop, a creative solution for all your floral needs. Nature's Gift Unique Fruit Bouquets offer fruit bouquets and platters for any occasion. Nature's Gift also provides healthy smoothies that will improve your immune system and health. Stop by Nature's Gift Unique Fruit Bouquets today.
And welcome back to the program. Joining us now in studio is Matt Rourke, Chief of Police for the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe. Sego, Matt, welcome to the studio.
Sego, Kevin.
So,
it's my turn.
Oh,
we were like, who's doing it? We're not used to having guests. So, Matt, tell me, as in your role as Chief of Police, tell me what operations were like when the flooding first began.
Yeah, it was complicated because there were so many things you had to worry about. Not only, you know, our everyday activities of crime prevention out there. You had flooding and residents who were getting nervous and how to enact whether or not we were going to go to a state of emergency. So we had many things going on, and you know, when to pull the trigger type of deal is what we were really nervous about. But we had a great working relationship with our emergency planning and the fire department. So it was good, and we actually were able to come through, and I think we're in a very good spot right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about the Unified Incident Command Unit. I mean, who was involved with that, and how did you pull this together?
Well, you know, it's teamwork, and a lot of it is volunteers. And besides our police department, you know, we have to really thank the Hogansburg Akwesasne Volunteer Fire Department. That command bus came from them out of the Station 3. And you know, with Isaac McDonald and I think Sturge Lazore and all them down there, they were very helpful in bringing that up. And Derek Cummins, who is still part of the fire department, who's part of the emergency operations with the tribe, was able to bring it. We brought it to a central location to the police department for communication back and forth. And it was their collaboration, and the number one thing was public safety. And they brought it through, and you know, we work hand in hand whenever there's a state of emergency, or you know, it could be any type of event. I want to say they're welcome to bring it to us.
I'm curious to know, you know, when you have that many people involved and you're pulling from all different teams, how is the workflow?
The workflow at times could be hectic, you know, but we've been through trainings, through incident command trainings, through our emergency planning. All the tribe takes incident command training. I mean, it's some sort of training to how to deal with this. And I know Isaac McDonald was great in that incident commander. Every time you came in, you had to sign your name, state who's there, what they're doing, and same thing with the fire department. They had their guys over at Station 1 and signing in and out, so you're accountable for everything. And that's what you want, accountability, so when the community members come back, who did what, where, and when. And it was very good. You know, we have finally figured out after all those trainings, we know what actually entails, and it gives you a good result at the end of it. And you know, you're always going to run through a couple problems, but you're able to work through it with structure and command.
Sounds like very thorough work.
It's very thorough, yes, and you have to be responsible. There's all kinds of regulations that are out there when you expect to get, you know, federal dollar funds from, you know, FEMA or from the state. You have to make sure that your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, and you know, and how much all this is spent to it. But you know, even with my guys at the, you know, the department, you know, it's a login, and we're there 24/7, and the volunteers from the fire department that they're, like I said, volunteers, and they have regular jobs, you know, and you have to keep control, and it's tiring. You know, they're exhausted, and that's the biggest part of it. At the end of it, everybody gets tired towards the end.
Well, I'm sure it was a hectic week, and I feel the community, you know, is very thankful for the work that you guys have put in. Where are things now, and are there any lingering concerns?
Right now, we're kind of back to a little, I said, normalcy a little bit, but we still. You have to trust Mother Nature. She's going to go when she wants to go, and she's been nice for us for the last couple of days, but we're not out of the woods. You know, we're still here in northern New York. There could be you know, a snowstorm. We hear down in the south right now they're getting snowstorms, but you know, we were hoping good weather is coming our way. There is still a jam up above, and hopefully this warm weather and this rain that'll come down will melt some stuff. We may see a little bit of an increase, but you know, we're prepared. There's, you know, Tony David, Isaac McDonald, and Derek. We're all in the unified command, and we're all sitting there talking, whether it's through emails or texts, whatever, but we're in good shape. And I think some of us been able to rest a little bit and, you know, get our decision making back on a regular schedule. And you know, it happens, you get lagged, and sometimes things happen, but we were able to come back together, and we're doing good. We're in very good shape. So.
Well, y'all will go for everything that you guys do. You know,
thank you, and
good job.
Thank you, and everybody from Akwesasne TV. And there's so many people to thank. It's unbelievable. At the end of it, you know, our radio station, Regan Cook, is just wonderful. You know, Kevin, and you've been out there on some of them, showing the ice and putting yourselves at situations.
Getting kicked off the bridge.
Getting kicked off the bridge, you know, and those things. But you know, our support from Akwesasne. You see the fire department. You've seen people from Bloomingdale, Tupper Lake that have come to us, because Akwesasne knows that our people go out, and we help those other agencies, and we've got a lot of camera action this past week and a half. You know, the governor and his representatives are up here, showed how, you know, there was 4 or 5 floodings, and what happened? Akwesasne was the last one to really step out of the ring there. So hopefully, you know, they show how we come together as a community.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in studio and bringing us up to date. We really appreciate the work that your team has been doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Nyawagoa, and don't go away. We will be back with more here on Karihwanakere Live in just a moment.
Mohawk Plumbing. We have everything you need, from flooring, paint, home decor and septic systems, landscaping, metal roofing, and more. Make the job easier and safer. Kubota service, man lift rental, and other small equipment rentals. The staff are experienced, courteous, and always willing to assist you in finding the right tools to help you for your projects. Oh, and we do plumbing too.
Hey, need a plumber? Come to Mohawk Plumbing. We have everything you need, and we'll take good care of you.
Welcome back to the program. Akwesasne residents continue to recover from the flooding. Some are returning to their homes even after water levels on the Saint Regis River remain unpredictable.
That's right, and Akwesasne resident Bear Fox is back home and had time to speak. We had time to speak with Akwesasne TV about her experience.
It's funny because early that morning it was such a beautiful sunset and sunrise, and I was taking pictures. I go, oh, it's so beautiful out of water and the sun. It was real pink skies and red skies. It was beautiful. And then so I'm taking pictures, but then I noticed that the water was getting closer to the road, and we all had to get to work and stuff. So we were all like, we better get going. So we all left except for my husband Sky's cousin. She was visiting for the week with her son, and so they were she was upstairs sleeping still. Kind of yelled to her that it started to flood around the house. So I just went to work, and then I go, I better call her or text her, see how she's doing. So I did at work. I texted her, and then she writes, Bear, there's flood all around, there's water all around me. I go, yeah. It says, keep an eye on the basement, let me know if there's any water down there or anything. After my students went to sleep, I called her, and then she's like all panicky when she went down. She said, Bear, water started to come in. She goes, it's going by the washer, it's going by the furnace, what do I do, what do I do? So I said, start grabbing towels and put it down, and I'll try and find where Sky is to get home. And I start calling Sky. There was no answer, and then I told him that the water's starting to go in the basement. So I didn't know what to do because she's here by herself, so I called the Galito, the police station, and Felicia answered, and she said that she'll have someone come check on her. I guess they had sent the police down to check on her, and I guess meanwhile Sky had got home, and he just drove through the water with his truck because he has a big truck, so he just came right through. And then and I guess they had the fan boat to come after her too. So it was nice that there was a lot of rescue right away, so fast, so quickly. And I always am proud of our community because our community is so lucky to have so much help here. I live in the house over there for my whole, childhood, and I remember hearing that wake me up, the sound of the big ice hitting each other. It's like thunder. And I know my mother was scared, and I have that worry, just like how my mother is, she worries. And when I heard that ice and hearing it sound like thunder, you don't know what's going on outside because it's dark out, and the water is going through. So in the morning, when we woke up, there was all these icebergs all over, and it becomes an island here. The water just flows right through our field, and it brings out those icebergs. And then when the water goes somewhere else, these icebergs are left behind on our fields.
Do you think that this has anything to do with the dam being removed? There's a lot of speculation that's because the dam was removed. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't think it had to do with the dam. I think that it happened all over, not just here. There's damage all over, County V. There's a whole bunch of flooding going on. It's just part of nature, what's happening.
Yawagoa Bear Fox for sharing your story. Well, that wraps up this week's show, and we'd like to take a minute to say Yawagoa to everyone who joined Akwesasne TV on this special program today.
It was amazing, and then, as always, we'd like to encourage the community and beyond once again to donate to the fundraising events that are ongoing here in Akwesasne.
That's right, and just a few fundraisers. Caring Hearts of Akwesasne will be hosting a fundraiser, and that's from 11 a.m. at the American Legion in Hogansburg. With a chicken barbecue dinner, they will also have a Mohawk auction and a music event in the evening with bands locally from Akwesasne and the surrounding areas. They'll also have a Mohawk auction, so if you want to donate items, you can drop those off at truck stop number 9.
This evening at the St. Regis Rec, there is a fundraising event for Mark and Marla Light. There will be a spaghetti dinner for $10 a dish, which includes the Mohawk auction until 9 p.m. More donations are currently being accepted. There will also be several singers to share songs of healing, prayer, power, and gratitude, and a blanket dance as well. That benefit is being held by the family and friends of Mark and Marla.
That's right. Y'all will go up for tuning in today. We hope that you enjoyed the program, and remember that if you see any news or current events happening in our community and that you feel that should be covered or featured on our show, you can send us an inbox on our Facebook page or give us a call at the station, 518-333-0387. Nyawan jiwazawa de lolo de ne Akwesasne TV. Onigewahe.
Honey,